Hello and welcome to the Infectious Group Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Group Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Well, hello there. This is Ross along with Michelle and Kyle coming back to you off of one of our most fun episodes that we've had in quite some time, and I expect this to be a full rebound in the other direction.
This is not going to be fun?
For any number of reasons, one of which Michelle had to watch a movie for this episode. On top of that, we're not recording on our usual day, and it's way past Michelle's bedtime right now. So
true. That's true.
Yeah. So,
God damn it.
So,
Also, I just realized that our intro says music news, and we don't do music news.
oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Is you should put a bunch of time and energy into fixing that. Oh, no, it's going to be me?
Just do a bleep.
Yeah. Segment redacted. I should totally do
Also,
that.
it's been like that for how long?
Yeah.
And then we listen to it every week.
Yeah, no one gave us the music news. The music news is gone. So anyways, that's really good. Well, I mean, we still talk about music news in a way. We just
do.
don't have a full segment.
We do. It's
for
not.
it.
It's not a segment.
And in a way, go with me on this. Nearly everything is music news to you.
Accurate.
That's
So,
true. That's true. Okay.
I was,
leave it.
we'll get into it later, but I was speaking with some folks today about the episode that we're putting together, and I asked a person a question because I want to bring it up later in the discussion. Then I was able to cover with them the fact that you didn't know that Iron Maiden was British, nor that Eric Clapton was British.
Or that Police is 2/3 British.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah.
So anyways, the reason why all of that came about is because we had Michelle watch a documentary on Netflix
Just
called
me. I should just not watch it.
Just You. The second half of the show is usually where we have our full discussion topic, but it's going to be story time this time.
It's going to be real brief.
Michelle's going to do the storybook version where she just like reads it to us, the audiobook version of the
It's
film.
going to be great.
And so, no, I say you because Kyle and I had already watched this documentary when it came about, the idea of having a topic on it. So Netflix has this new documentary about drummers and the love of drumming, and it's called Count Me In, and that will be our main topic of discussion in the second half of the episode. In the first half of the episode, we always have a couple of different segments that we go through, and one thing I haven't actually talked about in a while is like where we're at in numbers and followers and all that stuff, and we had a couple of milestones that I wanted to share with everybody. Number one, we got over 3,000 followers on Twitter now, which I think is pretty rad. I don't know where you got to be.
Do you hear that?
Is that for all the hard work you put into it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was just for me. That wasn't for you.
That was just for you personally.
Yeah.
And the YouTube channel, we are coming up on 800 subscribers now, which I love.
So close to 1,000.
It is very, very, very close to 1,000, which is the goal that I set when we started the YouTube channel. So, and that's without even having your face on there, Michelle. Like, I have to assume we're going to go up to like $2,000 or $3,000 as soon as you show up on the channel.
Or 5. Like, we're going to go down to
Yeah, I'll be like, next week, I'll be like, all right, we were at 800, then we put that Michelle video up, and now we're at 795. We're going to have to do a subscriber drive. So anyways, I think that those are cool. And, I don't plug the vinyl channel too much on the show, but we do have a vinyl channel on YouTube, Infectious Group Vinyl. And on that, we do 2 videos every week, every Thursday and Saturday. So far, they've been all me, but Michelle is coming to the channel eventually, and Kyle is coming to the channel eventually.
I'm getting ready. I'm getting my mom bod in shape.
Getting your mojo going.
Yeah.
And actually, I swear to God, this might be music news to both of you, but we started a Facebook group this week as well. We started that Facebook group.
We did?
Yeah, we did. And it's also called Infectious Group Vinyl. And so the idea...
What do we talk about?
well, Michelle, I swear the things that could have been discussed off the show, but I started it and I on purpose didn't invite either of you. Because I figured neither of you would, like, first of all, you just scroll past everything else, you personally would scroll past everything everyone else is listening to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you would never post your own records.
I would just post like brand new and Taking Back Sunday, and people would be like, stop.
Right. And
I'd be kicked out of my own forum.
Yeah. And the only reason you didn't get invited, Kyle, is because anything that you would post on the page, Michelle would complain about. So
Don't worry, Kyle will troll it.
Yeah. Oh Lord. No. Like the first 2 or 3 rules are like no selling anything and like no hinting at selling. Like, boy, I wish I could find a home for this. Get the fuck out of here. Like, don't go sell your records on eBay or whatever. And then like no politics. Like, don't be a jerk.
Facebook, they really hate when you try and sell shit in their groups.
Yeah.
You can actually get banned.
There's plenty of groups for selling records and all that stuff too. So just like go do it there. Yep. The idea here, and we have a small group. There's like 40 or 50 people in the group already, which is like without us trying. Hell, 2 of the hosts didn't even know it exists. And,
I don't even know 40 or 50 people. So
yeah. I always hear that from you about our audience. I've never even met that many people. But anyways, so with Michelle's permission, I'll add Kyle to the group because I think Kyle would enjoy it. I just didn't want Michelle yelling at me because you didn't get added.
I wouldn't have even known. I literally, this could have
She
gone
doesn't
on
even know
for
how to
months.
use groups or anything on Facebook.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the idea behind the group is, and I will tell you in advance, Kyle, just because of the group rules, there's not going to be a lot of fun for you. There's no trolling or anything. Because my thing in life is, and I've said this on a lot of our YouTube videos, and I say this on other pages, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to start our own page. If you don't like what someone's listening to, just scroll by. It's cool. Like yesterday, so don't even start. I'm not talking about politics or any of that stuff. I'm talking about specific to music. I'll give you an example. So yesterday I'm scrolling and I'm in like 3 or 4 other vinyl groups on Facebook, and somebody posted the cover of Creed Human Clay. That's like the Take Me Higher, Arms Wide Open record.
Trigger warning.
But they were like, but the post was like, I've been waiting for this all day, hard day at work. Like, what am I going to do? Be like, Creed's the worst thing that's ever had. I just scrolled on by. Because that dude's been waiting to listen to that all day. Like, now, me personally, like, that would make my day worse. But I don't have to tell him that. You know what I mean? So
I think that's how everyone should be on the internet all the time.
Yeah, just scroll on by what you don't like.
Yeah,
that's a crazy idea. Now that you two bring that between yourselves later. I personally enjoy the hell out of when Kyle leaves comments on other things because he follows all sorts of pages I don't, and then they show up in my feed because Kyle commented on them. And 9 times out of 10, what I see is Kyle like owning somebody.
Yeah.
And then I go to look at their comment and I'm like, all right, that's fair. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's can't think of the last thing I saw you post where I was like, that's not right. But like, if I was like, I totally disagree with that. Usually the comment before it, I'm like, that guy deserved it. So anyways, enough of us going on about how great we are. We're going to get into feedback where other people tell us how great we are. Here we go.
Yay!
Feedback, Joe.
Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
And our feedback segment has its own sub-segment, and that is voicemails from Seth.
Hello, Infectious Groove Podcast. This is Seth. I would like to announce that at the beginning of my voicemail today. I tried, Michelle, to do the Black Parade, but due to Russ's nepotism, he just chose an album that was not mine. I didn't see any type of polling, so it just seems like somehow there's some riggery. I'd like to make one call to stop the steal. But other than that, I would love to have Black Parade next. So if for some reason we could get like maybe a poll or something, so it's not like Russ just choosing albums that are not the Black Parade, that would be great. But I did enjoy your Who album review, and I really appreciate that it wasn't just Michelle hating it the whole time. I know it wasn't her favorite, but I feel like we really made out. Like Michelle giving it a 6 is like a win in my book. So very much look forward to your next episode, and I hope you all have a great week. Bye.
So I just want to be clear. First of all, I'm not related to James, which is what nepotism would be. It's me picking James as a longtime friend, longtime listener, supporter of the show on Patreon, but not
that you know of. We all came from Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yes, we're related. Second of all, we did mention though that James and his wife had quite the big hardship occur to them, and we were trying to do our best to be like, hey, this is what we can do to help, be positive. So we did pick James with it was unceremonious. We were just like, so we're going to do James's pick, right? And then we went from there. Michelle, you had comments at the top of Seth's.
Oh, it sounded at the very beginning. It sounded like he was being forced to read off of a index card, and I was going to ask if he was okay, but then he rebounded in the middle.
Yeah, it sounded
he got kidnapped.
Sounds like there's a lot more going on tonight than I want to even know about. So going into some written feedback that we got, and I will read this first. This is from Jamie Porter, who picked who's next for our last episode for the first Crowd albums review that we did. Jamie says, I know I thanked you already for choosing my record, but I have to say it again. This really gave me something to look forward to last week, and it didn't disappoint. You guys have always said if your podcast gets someone to listen to something they otherwise wouldn't have heard, then you're doing your job well. I feel the same way about this record. The fact that Russ and Kyle both said that they would check out more of The Who after listening to it made my week for sure. Michelle saying that she liked it better than she thought she would is also high praise that she could give for a record that she was, quote, forced to give a listen to. So I'll take that. I like that the first two pieces of feedback are like, Michelle didn't hate it. Hooray.
That's literally the bare minimum.
I don't think I've picked a record yet that you haven't hated. So maybe I'll know that joy one day. Of picking a record that you don't hate.
No, we did the thingies. And
yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
All right, so anyways,
What?
go back and listen to the tournament in season 1.
That's the thing.
Yep. James goes on to say The Who and Led Zeppelin traded influences throughout their careers for sure. In fact, John Entwistle famously inspired the name Led Zeppelin when he said that a version of the band with him and Keith Moon would go over like a lead balloon. Now, even bigger than that, a Led Zeppelin. So I thought those were all great comments from James, who, for me, it's like, it's nice if we all have nice things to say about the record, but like we had a lot of ups and downs about the record and he still enjoyed it, you know. Whereas I've not enjoyed one episode where we've reviewed one of my albums. Supporter and listener Aaron says, and this is fantastic, it says, if this is the first piece of feedback we got about an hour after the episode was available, and it said, prime infectious groove right here. Russ and Kyle bringing some fine music talk and Michelle bringing some fine Michelling. Also, fantastic voicemail. So shout out to Seth for the voicemail. It was recommending to his listeners that everybody check us out. Joe, who is a friend of the show and is from Keeping Up with the Kardashians podcast.
Friend of the show, Joe.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians podcast.
He also
excuse me.
might do a Keeping Up with the Kardashians podcast. We don't know.
They had a big interview this week. They actually interviewed, their whole show revolves around Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and they interviewed one of the big actresses from the show on their podcast this week. So Pod's Media Network family doing business. Joe says that I liked your line. I'm pretty sure when this album comes out, it's going to be Chinese Democracy loaded on a Zoom, which was my thoughts about Kanye, because at the time we were still wondering if it was ever going to come out.
Surprise.
That line did not give the laughs that it deserves. I concur, Joe. I concur. I'm over here passing out comedy gold.
You really are.
I really, really am. Chicago Mike, Michelle, who he resides in Chicago, and his name is Mike. Yeah. He says, several people told me to listen to the new Halsey record. Kyle recommending it was the nail in the coffin, so I took a listen to it finally, and my first reaction is, this is how I wanted the Fiona Apple record to sound, which the last Fiona Apple record came out like a year and a half ago.
Underwhelming.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you listened to recently because you thought it was Alanis Morissette?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
But people kept going on about that record. It's called Fetch the Bolt Cutters, and people kept going on like it was the greatest thing ever, right? And then you listen to it, and you're like you said, in a word, underwhelming.
I think it was because she hadn't put out a record in like 20 years.
Yeah, and so it just came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." And then I think either you or Mike were the first ones to listen to it, be like, "No," you know. And then either whoever said it, the other one said it like right after. So, but everybody continues to praise the Halsey record. So that is what we had for feedback. Moving right along, our jammies. I had one of those things where somebody on Twitter last week reminded me that we had a 35-year anniversary for a record, and then I started listening to the album.
Hey, I'm 35.
Okay, so maybe this album came out the same day as you. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Can you believe that record's 35 years old? Like, Wanted, Dead or Alive? I mean, 35 is old. Wouldn't you agree, Michelle?
I'm the youngest one here, man.
Yeah. The record Slippery When Wet is mostly known for 3 gargantuan hits: You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, and Wanted, Dead or Alive, right? But the rest of that record is really, really good. Like Let It Rock, Without Love, Never Say Goodbye, Wild in the Streets. Wild in the Streets is like a super duper Bruce Springsteen ripoff. Like, I bet every time that song plays, Bruce Springsteen somewhere is like, like, you know, like it's like, but it's still a good tune, you know. It's just a really, really, really solid record. Like, Bon Jovi set out to be like, okay, by the third record we want to be like ruling the world, and then boom, like, you know, they were absolutely ruling the world by the third record.
And then what?
And then they continued to do so, like, for the next, I don't know,
35 years.
35 years. You know, they've had their ups and downs albums wise. Like the last Bon Jovi album I truly enjoyed personally came out in like 2001, 2001, 2002, Bounce, whenever that record came out. That's the last one I truly enjoyed, but they are a huge brand. They play stadiums every time they go out. People love them. It's not even them anymore. They're down a bass player and down the most famous part of the band for me, Richie Sambora, doesn't even play with them anymore.
Why?
Is
that a stroke
because
for-
the money splits better one way between John and himself than John and Richie. So
Womp
actually, that's a very editorial comment. That's my opinion. That's like very much my opinion. I've read everyone's sides in it, and my version is the money splits better one way for John than if it's John and Richie. So, but I have no doubt in my mind that they'll do some sort of big reunion tour before all is said and done. And they're still playing the same size or bigger venues without Richie in the band anyways, which I never would have thought would have happened. So shows you what I know. So anyways, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. What I'm going to give you to put on the playlist, though, are a lot of the non-singles, because like everyone's heard Wanted Dead or Alive and Living on a Prayer a billion times. And there are really, really good songs on the record that most people haven't heard. So that's what I'm going to give you for the playlist. Kyle, what have you been listening to?
I think we all know what I've been listening to.
I'm going to guess here. All right. I'm going to just take a flying stab in the dark and say it's the new
Creed.
Kanye West album. Yeah.
Accurate.
The new Kanye West album.
Yes.
So far, is it living up to what you wanted it to be?
It is verbatim exactly what was played at the events. So like between the 3 events,
Okay.
all versions of everything that he played made it on the record.
Oh, that's a lot.
Well,
Well, it's like 100 minutes long too, isn't it?
it's 27 or 28 songs.
All right. I just want to take this opportunity to remind you that the Beatles only had one double album.
Well, and so it's when everyone was freaking out about Jay-Z being pulled off and the baby being put on to the same song.
Right.
He put both versions of the 3 songs that had 2 versions on the record.
That's so. Well, let me just tell you this: my inner track listing nerd is real mad right now because, what are you gonna? You gonna listen to the same song twice in a row, or are they tacked on at the end?
Yeah, they're at the end. All 3 of them in a row are at the end.
Oh, boy.
But so to me,
I just want to say real quick: there's a firm head shaking no going on.
I very, very, very much liked the craziness and performance stuff that went along with
the build up.
Yes, and I had heard everything already because that's what came out.
Mm-hmm.
But like it seems it's so strangely arranged and still sounds undone that like it's almost like somebody who is not all there is putting music together and then underneath a bunch of pressure putting it out for everybody.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I know I've made a ton of the easy Chinese democracy jokes, but a lot of the late Syd Barrett material after he left Pink Floyd and was solo and Axl, it's a running joke that Axl worked on Chinese democracy forever and a day and whatever else, but it's the same thing. Like a lot of what we got was just like, oh, well, the pressure's reached enough. And so here's this. Now for me, I love that album. Chinese. And I liked it. The thing with Chinese democracy was there ended up being 14 songs on the record. And I think 9 or 11 of them had leaked before the record came out. So like I knew I liked those. So I just had to like the last 3, to like claim liking the record. And I like it a lot, but it also took me a little while to like get the whole thing.
Yeah.
So is that where you're at?
And so he has multiple like experimental records. Like, I mean, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy could be looked at as that, and Yeezus especially is very, very experimental, and you had never heard him do anything like that before he did it.
Yeah.
And this is along the same lines as that, but like when I listen to this and I listen to Yeezus or something like Watch the Throne, it's just those are complete like polished projects, and this is just like, I mean, he put out the stem player where you could rearrange the shit yourself if you wanted to.
Right.
So it's not. I don't think he's worried about it being a complete project.
Is there enough there initially to where you could put like a solid 4 or 5 tracks that you like on the playlist?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, I would count that as a win.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out why it's edited. And I not one person's mentioned it.
Okay.
And it's just weird.
Well, if
Maybe you're doing it wrong.
You can bring over the stems and I can just edit you in saying all the swears if you want.
Yes. Actually, can it be me?
I can do that too. Whatever you need. So, and that's taking up all your jams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I am going to dig further into the Halsey record because I just she put out a interview with Atticus and Trent, all 3 of them together in the interview.
Yeah, I saw that
for Apple Music, and now I want to listen to it even more, finding out like the backstory behind it, basically.
Right, I can dig that.
Yeah.
Michelle, what are your jammy jams?
I have one.
She has one jam.
Boy.
We have Kyle's and Russ's Jammy Jams and Michelle's Jammy Jam.
You both had a jammy jam.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had
It was
whole
one
records.
thing.
Slippery
Okay, it's
When Wet.
one record.
Slippery When Wet is certainly just one song. I mean, the 3 singles alone weren't huge, but go on.
It's one song.
Right.
I could probably come with 2.
Whoa.
It's not a competition. Just go. Just go.
For some reason, Exile by Taylor Swift and Bon River has been on repeat in my head. Like I can just wake up. It's like
Sure.
the weird song to get stuck in your head because it's super slow and like, but I can't get it out of my head.
They make a good team, man.
And that's from Folklore.
Yes.
It's either Folklore or Evermore. It's either Folklore or Evermore, one or the other.
And he has a track on both albums, so figure it out.
So Exile by Taylor Swift and Bon Iver. And what else do you got?
I was hoping that it would show what it just shows.
She doesn't even know. She can't remember.
Sweet Lord.
I was hoping Spotify would tell me what I listened to. Damn it.
Michelle is connected with music so deeply this week that she can't even remember what the songs were.
The other one, which is an old song, but Kanye West is on it, 4 or 5 Seconds by Rihanna and Kanye West. I don't know
Gotcha.
why that song just keeps showing
It's
up in
because
my life.
It's because you were bumping the jams in your.
It is. It must be like adjacent to that, but it
Yeah.
keeps showing up everywhere, and I like it. I don't think a lot of people like Rihanna, but
I'm not a huge fan, but people love her. She's
Yeah,
huge.
you know, multi-platinum selling artists.
Yeah.
No one likes Rihanna.
Yeah, Michelle
Shucks.
likes those indie artists. Like
That's weird.
Rihanna. Okay, well, we squeezed out 2 jammy jams right there at the buzzer. I'm going to take us to break, and when we come back,
tired.
yeah, she's tired, everyone. When we come back, we're going to discuss the new Netflix documentary, Count Me In, showing now, discussing drummers, their love of, and all the different types of drummers out there. You're listening to the Infectious Crew podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Richie.
And I'm Little Matt.
And here at the 500 Section Lounge, we have a few requirements.
First, you've got to be able to talk about anything at all.
Secondly, you need to be able to laugh, play games, and talk to some very interesting people.
From sports radio personalities to reality television contest finalists and everything in between, we talk to them all.
Yeah, it's all right here in the lounge.
So be on the lookout for what we do next.
And always be there to
Grab a listen.
Hey, I'm Pantsless Aaron.
This is Stevie.
And I'm Augie.
And we are BFYTW, a podcast all about playing games and having fun. Our games are usually based on British panel shows and game shows, but we'll play anything that captures our attention and imagination. Why? It's right there in the title.
You'll never guess what the F stands for.
We are back after probably the most exciting Jammy Jams segment we've had in quite some time. There was a kerfuffle. And Michelle was able to knock out 2 Jammy Jams all at once.
Yeah, one by the indie artist Rihanna that no one's ever heard of.
Right, yeah, I know.
That's weird.
Russ said she sounds like she's falling asleep when she's singing.
To me, yes. So, anyways, the reason why Michelle wasn't able to work in a bunch of Jammy Jams this week is because we made her go.
Because it's Thursday.
Because it's Thursday, and we made her go and watch a movie. And before we even get into it, just did this meet your documentary standards?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
And it was short.
It wasn't short. It's like an hour and a half.
That fucking other movie was like 2 hours, and it was 2 hours of not documentary.
Oh, man. You'd like to hear Michelle's complete thoughts on the Questlove film Summer of Soul. Go back a couple of episodes.
You know that 90 minutes is like my threshold?
What we are talking about this week
You asked!
is a new documentary on Netflix called Count Me In. It was released just a couple of weeks ago in August of 2021. And I had this on my radar, like I knew it was coming. And then, because Netflix isn't the best at being like, hey, that thing you're interested in is out.
No,
unless it's
they're
like
awful
Stranger
at it,
Things
yeah.
or like, one of their like marquee things. And so I just kind of forgot about it. And somebody texted me, whatever day Netflix stuff comes out, like 2 hours into that day, texted me and was like, stop what you're doing right now and watch this film. And I was like, oh, I meant to anyways, so I watched it.
Did you stop what you were doing?
I did. And it was about 15 minutes into it when I was like, we should totally do an episode on this. And I was all excited to talk to you guys about it. And then I came last time we went to record and I was like, you guys, there's the thing. And Kyle's like, I saw it. I was like, sweet.
And I was like, what?
So we were already 2/3 of the way there. We were already beating Bon Jovi out. We were over halfway there. And now one thing I know the answer for you is no, Michelle. Kyle, have you ever seen the film It Might Get Loud with Jack White and Jimmy Page and the Edge?
No.
Okay,
Nope.
well, first of all, if you loved this movie, which I have yet to know if you love this movie, but we'll find out. If you love this movie, go watch that. There's a movie called It Might Get Loud that was done about 10 years ago. I mean this in every way complimentary about this film, Count Me In. This movie could be called It Might Get Loud Drummer Edition. Like, it's the same movie, just with drummers instead of the 3 guitar players. And briefly, in case someone else hasn't seen It Might Get Loud, or actually for Michelle's benefit, because I'm sure she hasn't seen it either.
Nope.
They did a documentary where they brought together 3 completely different type of guitar players from 3 different generations. So you have Edge, who plays very electronic and effect heavy. Jimmy Page, who's just born out of like classic rock, big wall of sound. And Jack White, who's the youngest of the 3, but also has an even more basic sound than Jimmy Page does, right? So they brought the 3 of them together just to sit and chat about music and how much they love guitar. And there's scenes in the movie where they Edge will show the 2 of them how he plays like classic U2 stuff. And then there's a scene where Jimmy Page is showing Jack White and the Edge how to play like Kashmir and stuff. You know, it's a really, really cool film. But my favorite part in the film happens right near the beginning. And they're driving along in a limo with Jack White, like on their way out to this thing where it's going to happen. And they're like, so, you know, we're going to have you, Edge, and Jimmy Page in the room, and you guys have never met, and you all 3 have pretty big egos. What do you think is going to happen? And Jack White sits there for like a solid 10 seconds, totally quiet, and he doesn't even look at the camera, and he goes, probably a fist fight. It's great. It's great. So anyways, if anybody's seen that film, I mean this in every way complimentary, Count Me In could just be called It Might Get Loud drummer version, you know, because it's the exact same thing. It's a bunch of drummers sitting around talking about how much they love drums, why they got into it, what they overcame, and how passionate they are about it. So I can see by the look on Michelle's face that she adored this film. For me, I loved this movie, and I did, you know, I had some questions here that are going to be out of left field because I didn't tell you guys I was going to ask them. Do either of you have a favorite drummer, like somebody who you absolutely like is your favorite drummer? And I'm sure Michelle, the answer is no. You probably didn't even know there were drummers in bands.
I can name a few drummers.
Did you just think that there were like 5 drummers that just circled all the bands?
I thought it was just a drum machine.
Oh yeah, well, they cover that in this film. Kyle, do you have a favorite drummer or someone who you hold at least in high regard?
Yeah, Tommy Lee is to me one of the best drummers to ever exist.
I think Tommy Lee's criminally underrated as a drummer.
And also Joey Jordison, R.I.P.
Formerly of Slipknot.
Yeah.
My 3 favorite drummers are completely different styles. Tommy Lee. If you nail me down to say who's your favorite drummer of all time, it's probably Tommy Lee. And if anybody right now is listening to me say that, I go, oh, how dare you? You're wrong. Tommy Lee is crazy underrated. Nick Mason from Pink Floyd, who is featured in the film briefly, but he's in there. And then Neil Peart from Rush, which, like, you know, a lot of people are probably, oh, okay, well, he saved it with the Neil Peart thing. But, like, they're 3 completely different
Not Phil Collins?
styles of drummer. I'm not a huge Phil Collins guy as far as on the drums. I love his voice, but on the drums, he's just serviceable to me. And I'm sure that's offensive to some people, but that's just how I feel about Phil on the drums. One side note, I thought it was interesting that this happened to come out the week that Charlie Watt passed from the Rolling Stones, and they spend at least 6 or 8 minutes talking about how amazing Charlie Watt is. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was odd to be, I watched this film the day it got announced that he passed. And I had no idea that was going to happen. So I hear the news about him passing, and then I'm watching this film where everybody's going on about how great he was.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What did you come away with from the movie? Like, Michelle, did you just watch it and go, okay, well, that was some people doing some things, or did you come away like with a higher appreciation of drummers, or what were your takeaways from it?
I found out that the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers is from Detroit.
Because being from Detroit, you never hear that.
It was interesting. I guess, I don't know. You asked me what I learned. I can't think.
Well, what you took away from it? Like, what was there anything that you didn't know? Well, I mean, you didn't know everything, but was there a moment in the film where you're like, whoa, you know, like, I
guess the drum circles, like when they were doing it, and then even when they were just in the beginning with just like the bongos or whatever. And then I just thought that was amazing because it doesn't. You would think it would just sound like noise, but the fact that you can actually like have feeling with
because
the drums,
of that unsaid connection that drummers have.
Yeah, and it was just amazing to see that. Like, sometimes when I hear the drums, I just hear noise. To be honest, like if someone just is playing drums like in like the corner, I'm like, that's just noise.
It's because you're into emo, but go on.
But this time I was like, that's That's like it's music. So like it like really opened my eyes to that aspect of it.
Ending scene where they showed Chad Smith and Jess Bowen and everybody all in like one room drumming together. Steven from Jane's Addiction. That's one of the things that reminded me. It Might Get Loud ends with Jack and Jimmy and Edge doing The Weight, which I love that song anyways. So it's the same type of thing. It's like you would think those three guys with their completely different styles playing that song together, you'd be like, well, this is the worst version of The Weight ever. But the bonding is what made it work,
I also learned that there's somebody in the world named Rat Scabies.
Which is one of your biggest takeaways from the film.
That is not your name, sir. Your parents did not name you Rat Scabies.
When we were watching it, she was like, what the fuck is that?
So let me ask you this now. Okay, so if he changed his name, which I don't know, but if he changed his name legally to that, will you allow it?
Yes.
Okay. So we need to look into that. Otherwise, he's on notice, right?
He's on notice.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about people's Christian names?
It was the old, back when Stephen Colbert used to do the Colbert Report, he used to have a wag of the finger. He had a whole. So we have to bring that back. Michelle's giving you a wag of the finger.
Speaking of wagging fingers, what's Edge's real name?
I don't know off the top of my. I know this, but I don't know it right now. I'd have to Google it. Bono's real name is Paul Hewson. I know that.
Oh, so, Paulie.
Yeah. Yes. Kyle, what were your takeaways from Count Me In?
So I connected to this especially because growing up I wanted to be a drummer very badly, and I was obsessed with it when I was a little kid, and obviously my parents couldn't afford a drum kit and all that kind of stuff. I did have what they used to make and call hit sticks, which are like drumsticks that are connected to like a little digital thing, and they make digital drum noises,
and they were so precise.
And I used to beat the shit out of everything with them, and I was just obsessed with it. Then I had a friend who was a drummer in band, and he had his parents bought him this big drum set in his basement, and it was really hard to play. And I was like, fuck, I don't even think I can do this. Like, this is not... And in band, I was really, really disappointed to find out that you had to play the piano before they would let you play a drum.
Oh, no.
And I was like, no, I'm not playing the piano. Yeah. I wish I did now, but then I was like, no way.
There's still time. You guys got room in the house for a good piano.
So I never...
Shut your mouth.
There was, I guess it wasn't meant to be. There was all these like different roadblocks that prevented me from ever actually taking it seriously. But to see... that I was the little kid banging on pans and shit, and so like I was very much in that same path. And then got diverted for whatever reason.
That was my first point that I brought away, was that that you learn that drummers do drumming for the absolute love of drumming. Like the people that all made it big in this film, and I know that they don't cover it about Tommy Lee in the film, but Tommy Lee's first drum kit was his mom's pots and pans, and he kept banging on them until he got good enough to where they were like, Jesus Christ, buy him a drum set or something, like stop him from hitting those, and you find that out, that people do that. Another aspect that I didn't think of was that guitarists get into being a guitar player for the adulation. Like they get into it for the ego part of it. Lead singers get into it because it's probably the easiest job in the band overall, unless you're, Freddie or Axl or somebody like that. It's the easiest job in the band overall. And again, the ego and the attention that you get. Drummers get into it knowing that they're going to be sitting in the back of the band in the first place and then be surrounded by cymbals. So they're going to be the least noticed people.
But they also secretly know that they are the ones that tie the band together.
Though. Oh, for sure.
That is their ego part, sitting back there like, ha, like, you can't do this without me.
Near the end of the film, they were talking about how if, somebody's guitar goes down or whatever, or if a mic stops working, like the concert goes on. But if the kick pedal gets broken, like now we got a problem.
Yep.
And like they're the ones that can halt the whole show, So that to me was a huge takeaway. Like that I never really thought about that before, that like you have to put as much or more work. Like the drummer always has way more to haul than everybody else as far as, so you're getting into this to do way more work than everybody else for way less adulation. Like you have to be committed to it for the love of it. So that was a huge takeaway for me. One of the most memorable parts in the movie for me was the montage of kids getting drums for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the one little girl that just loses her damn mind when she gets a drum kit for Christmas, which I thought was amazing. I like that they covered jazz drummers a great deal, because I don't think jazz drummers get anywhere near the respect and notoriety that they deserve. Like jazz drummers are just not getting around at all.
You know how I feel about jazz.
Yeah, they don't follow the rules.
They don't follow the rules.
And then another thing for me was that they really stressed how many different types of drumming there are. You don't really think about, when you hear reggae drumming, you just think, oh, well, that's just a different drum beat. It's a whole different style and way to go about what you're doing. Same thing for jazz, same thing for rock. And that for me was another takeaway where I was like, I never really thought about that before.
And then you get to see which drummers grew up and use those sort of styles and how they drum. Like they might be the drummer for some huge band, rock band, but they drum like a jazz drummer.
Right. Oh yeah.
So it's like you're able to see where they got their influence from and like how they have applied it.
Or even conversely, when they talk about how like if you listen closely enough to the first couple of Beatles albums, Ringo's drumming more like a punk drummer.
Yeah.
Than he is a pop.
Or even when you watch him when they're recording him, he's just beating the shit out of the drum kit.
I'll tell you what, man, for all the crap you give Ringo, or like the royal you, like for everybody that gives Ringo, all you got to do is watch him in those early years and you're like, well, that guy's super cool, you know?
Yeah.
So that's rad. My next question goes directly to Michelle. Michelle, what did you learn about Keith Moon watching this movie?
Oh, so a lot, actually.
Yeah. I knew that there was going to be a lot.
So I Googled some stuff while we were watching it.
Oh, boy.
Because I was like, this my man.
Wait a minute. Did you Google him for yourself?
Yep.
Oh, my Lord. This film has done so much for America. So what did you learn, Michelle?
About Keith Moon in general? That he died in the same house as somebody from the Mamas and the Papas.
So he died in the same place as someone else. Go on. What else
At
did you
the
learn?
same age.
Yep.
4 years apart.
Okay.
And that his, I forget, I wish I would have wrote it down. His last words were like, shut the fuck up, or get the fuck out.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And then,
wasn't that because his old lady wouldn't make him bacon and eggs or something, right?
Yeah, he was like, go make me some bacon and eggs. And she was like, no. And he was like, well, then get the fuck out. And then
he died.
Deadsies.
Yeah, and then gone. But yeah, you saw in the film the pictures of the Rolls Royces.
In the pool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, he seems like someone I want to hang out with. But don't prank me.
Right, yeah. He was a big prank.
And
the one guy from Deep Purple is like, you could look at him and be like, he's going to be dead before he's 40.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's sad, though.
And who was it that said something like, I forget what the numbers were, but it was like he partied 27 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, and that's how you end up passing away of, what was it, Death by Misadventure.
Yeah, it said, Wikipedia said that he just took like 32 of those pills that are supposed to you're not supposed to drink.
Yeah. He was taking medication to help him like cut back drinking.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to take like 3 a day, and he took 32 of them in one day.
So not 3.
Good Lord.
Maybe not a good idea.
The next segment for me that was huge was the whole idea of, and I realize as a society we are getting better with the whole sexism issue that's been bad for several hundred years, but the whole idea of a girl can't drum is so foreign to me.
Yes.
And they speak, which the young lady in this film, Jess Bowen, I had never heard of her before.
She's the one who does that. She's in those pop punk band.
No, she's the one that goes to the drum doctor.
Yeah, she was the one who
she's in the Somerset or whatever that band is.
Okay, right.
They're like a Warped Tour band.
Okay, and I had never heard of her before, but the fact that a drum tech was like, oh yeah, make sure you hit him like a girl, or what, like what are you even talking about? Like that's so far off. Like, and I get that he was trying to make a stupid joke, but like, drummers know it's not about how hard you hit the drums in the first place.
Yeah.
Like if you get a drummer that's just sitting there trying to hit the drums hard, like there's a lot wrong with their playing. And
it also didn't help when the other girl was drumming for Motley Crue.
So we're going to get into that. Yes.
Yeah, and then Vince Neil has to announce that their drummer is a girl.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
So I want to cover Samantha Maloney because there's a couple of things about that. One, this isn't a big deal, but I thought it was weird that they glossed over that she was filling in for Motley Crue's drummer because she wasn't filling in for Tommy Lee. She was filling in for Randy Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, Tommy Lee was out doing Methods of Mayhem and so on, and Randy Castillo...
I'm going to say he was out doing meth.
Well, no,
maybe.
He was probably also doing that.
Yes.
But at the time, Tommy Lee was out of Motley Crue, and Randy Castillo, who is a wonderful and fantastic drummer, or was...
R.I.P.?
He recorded the Motley Crue album, New Tattoo, and he did a fantastic job on the drums on it. Like, you would never think Motley Crue is going to have a successful album without Tommy Lee on the drums, and Randy Castillo was like the guy to do it. And again, it's not her place, but it wasn't like in the film it's like, oh, and their drummer got sick, and so they needed to. Well, yeah, he passed away of cancer.
What?
So
they said he had the flu.
I mean, that might have been what was said to the press or something. I don't know. But Randy Castillo had passed away, so he recorded the album New Tattoo, but wasn't well enough to tour for it. Now, that's one negative thing. And again, I'm not putting that on her. Who even knows? She could have said something else. They could have edited it out. I don't know. Or they might not have even wanted to have that whole story in there. I don't know. But here's the interesting thing about Samantha Maloney is when she joined Motley Crue, I had that same experience where all of my friends were like, hey, you believe this shit? Motley Crue's got a chick in the band. But I already well knew who she was, and she already had to prove herself to me on a whole different level. She replaced Patty Schemmel in Hole, the first 2 Hole records are of Force of Nature, Pretty on the Inside and Live Through This. And Patty Schemmel is one of my favorite drummers of all time. So when it came time for Celebrity Skin, which Samantha Maloney didn't even drum on that. Dean Castronovo actually drummed on the album, but then Samantha Maloney joined the band for the tour. On that tour, I was like, nah, who the hell is this? Like, I don't care that she was a girl, because Patty Schemmel was a girl beforehand, plus I'm not an idiot, and I'm not going to sit there and judge it. Yeah, I know, the jury's out on that.
This isn't a reason you're
for me, I was already like, who the hell is this with this woman once? Right. And then when it came around to her joining Crew, and the way it was always reported was exactly what she said. Like, if you're listening to the radio, they were like, oh, Motley Crue had a girl join. And I was like, yeah, but what girl, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it matters to me who it is. And when they were like, Samantha Maloney, I'm like, oh, no, she's legit. Like, yeah, that broad's going to kill it, because she killed it in Hole. So I was already that way. So I was the one that told all my friends, I'm like, don't worry. Like, because none of my friends wanted anything to do with Hole. So I was like, don't just trust me. This woman can rock, and so we all went to the shows and they were blown away by her. Complete and total side note. There is a documentary about, we're going to do an Inception thing here. There's a documentary about Patty Schemmel and how the way she was abused in and around being a member of the band Hole. And I don't know if you know, the lead singer of Hole is not the world's most popular person. And a lot of people have.
I've seen Soaked in Bleach.
Right. you find a way to mention that surprisingly a lot.
You should watch it.
Yeah, everybody should watch Soaked in Bleach. But this film is about how Patty Schemmel was used and abused by the music industry, and the one person in particular, and goes on about how she didn't even know she was kicked out of Hole until Celebrity Skin came out and her picture was on the cover of it. And then in the liner notes, they're like, and the drumming's by Dean Castronovo. And she's like, well, that's crazy because I drummed on this record and I'm on the cover. And that was the thing that made her be like, okay, so I'm going to go, and she ended up leaving Hole. But there's a documentary that's just about her called Hit So Hard, which is a song from the album Celebrity Skin, and then it obviously
I feel like that's on Amazon or something.
It is on Amazon Prime. I'm not going to even remotely ask you to sit through it, Michelle, but Kyle, I really think you would like it. It's a really, really good documentary. Just give Michelle the Cliff Notes afterwards.
Yeah, I'll totally listen.
Yeah. So earlier, Michelle, you touched on the drum machine segment that is in this movie when they talked about the Lynn drum coming about, which obviously led to the 808 and so on. And I don't want to say they breeze over it, but they do talk about it was a very real concern when drum machines came about.
And I think that's why they breeze over it, because they don't want to give it the attention that a lot of people do. Right. Because they're real drummers and they don't want to even talk about something replacing them.
The thing that I think is weird that that's left out is that this is going to sound like I'm saying this at you and I don't mean it at you, but like real drummers, and I'm using Dr. Evil quotes, learned how to use, I would consider Trent Reznor a real drummer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that most of Trent's best work is done on a Lynn drum or an 808. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing that was disappointing to me was that in the documentary, they were like, and then electronic drums happened. And we were like, fuck that. And I was like, well, no. Like, people were scared. Like, when any new technology comes about, everyone was scared. And then people learned how to use it.
Yeah.
To have it be, it's like there's an old documentary about Pink Floyd where they talk about if Pink Floyd is like, if eventually the electronic aspect of it is in control. And Roger Waters says back to this reporter that, like, well, that's like saying give a guitar to a guy and he becomes Eric Clapton. Like, these machines don't do anything without us.
Yeah.
So there still needs to be like a human element. You can set a Lynn drum to a beat and it can do it until the end of time, right? But like, somebody's got to be in control of that.
Yeah.
So they cover the initial concern and then they kind of skipped over the fact where people started to use it to innovate.
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing to me.
I think because to them, that's not innovation.
Right.
So it's taking their job essentially.
Right. I have a couple of huge things that I think we're missing from
me too.
this. What do you got?
So it skipped like a generation of drummers. So it went from like the 60s to now. And so Tommy Lee wasn't in there. Lars Ulrich wasn't in there.
They cut off at like 81. They were like, and then punk drumming happened. Yeah.
Travis Barker wasn't in it. So like all these like huge influential drummers that got influenced by the guys they talk about and then influenced the other people they talk about weren't there.
So in the first like 5 minutes of the movie, they're like, Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie, they're like, there's no such thing as Tommy Lee.
Yeah, no Tommy Lee.
You know. And also, elephant in the room. How are you going to have a drum documentary and make no mention of Neil Peart?
Yeah.
Not even like Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins is in this film.
Yeah.
Taylor Hawkins is like the world's biggest Neil Peart fan. Either they edited out the 14 hours he talked about Neil Peart, or they were told that they couldn't talk about it.
And I guess that's the problem with documentaries is that whoever made the documentary, that it's up to them who they want to include. So they just included whoever they thought were the most influential or their favorite drummers and left a bunch of people out.
So I have two theories on why I think Neil Peart might have been left out, but I felt like I needed to be like the guy that got mad about Neil Peart being left out. I'll cover my theories in a minute, but Michelle, you had a question?
Oh, I thought someone mentioned his name.
I don't think so. Maybe someone did, but I don't think so. I mean, there was a whole section on John Bonham. And I like that Roger Taylor and Nick Mason are like in the film.
Yeah.
But then everybody's like, yeah, they drum too. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody was like, yeah, also, by the way, like legendary drummer over here. Here's my theory on why I think I have two theories on why Neil Peart wasn't in the film. Number one, Neil Peart was a super down to earth, humble dude. Like he did not like in all the time that Rush did meet and greets and stuff, he would never go to the meet and greets. And it wasn't because he was a jerk who didn't want to meet fans. He didn't understand why someone would want to meet him. Like he was like, why? Like I'm just a dude. Like why would you want to pay to meet me? So maybe he didn't, or he wouldn't have wanted it that way. And then the other thing is, I don't know when this was put into production, but we lost Neil suddenly, and I wonder if maybe it was too raw for everybody to even talk about. That he had just passed and everybody was like, yeah, I'm not going on about it.
Yeah, maybe he was a part of the plan and then they got scrapped because of what happened.
But the other thing I don't understand is, and it's not just Tommy Lee, there are some monster drummers from the 80s that were Liberty DeVito, Kenny Aronoff. Michelle got to see Kenny Aronoff for drum for John Fogerty. But there are some gargantuan drummers from the 80s, Ricky Rocket, it was like the whole era just never happened. Now I get, and we talked about this in the 1991 episode, I understand that it's not sexy to show 80s hair metal and glorify it. Like we're all supposed to act like there was nobody talented and that whole era never happened. Well, no matter how much we all continue to sell that narrative, there were some amazingly talented musicians in that time. And the drummers were not the least of them. There were some stunningly good drummers at that time.
Yeah.
And one of the best drummers I've seen in the past, 15 years of my life at all, like drummers at all, plays in that 80s tribute band that I go see that you guys know about. Like he's one of the best drummers I've seen in ages, and he's playing all of that stuff. So that was weird.
Yeah.
To me. Did you have other than the fact that it could have been much longer, because I know how you like a long film, Michelle. Did you even notice that though about Neil Peart not being there, or for you was it just like this is a thing on drummers? And
I just figured that they were just avoiding it because everyone brings it up.
Yeah, that too.
So they were like, we're like, okay, we all understand that Neil Peart is great, but what about everybody else? So that's what I just assumed that was kind of like, because if they spent 20 minutes talking about it, like
the only argument I have for that is the whole segment on John Bonham. Because we hear about John Bonham as much as Neil Peart.
I didn't hear about John Bonham that much.
Oh, I'm sorry. People who talk about music on a regular basis, they know about John Bonham.
I hear a lot about Neil Peart.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Kyle?
So coming from a film background, I will tell you that if they would have included everyone that was as influential as the other person, this thing would have been like 4 hours long.
Which is my thing, where I feel like this could have been a mini-series.
Yeah, it definitely could have been. And I think that, so the guy who made the film, or girl, I don't even know.
Person?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was. I can't remember their name.
I know, me either. I'm so disjointed because it's Thursday night. I had the director's name earlier and I don't now.
But so
we'll put it in the notes.
What they did was
they
just focused on, they wanted to focus on the newer drummers, right? And then who they were influenced by. And because they were just influenced by those set of old school drummers, they didn't mention anybody else.
Right.
The only person that was mentioned that wasn't in the film was Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
So it was just got left out because those particular newer drummers weren't influenced by.
And then, like
other
I say,
people.
Roger Taylor and Nick Mason are in the film.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody mentioned them.
yeah.
Like, I thought when Nick was there first, because, you know, you're never going to believe this, but I was hoping there was going to be a lot more Pink Floyd talk.
Yeah.
When Nick was there first, I was like, he's going to do it. He's finally going to get in the discussion. Like Nick Mason never in a best drummers in Pink Floyd discussion, Nick Mason never comes up. People just don't talk about Nick Mason, and he's a stunningly good drummer. But
how old is he?
Nick Mason, they're all in their late 70s now. Pink Floyd, the remaining Pink Floyd members are all in their late 70s.
He dresses like that.
Nick Mason, you're on notice.
I told Kyle, I said, he dresses like he needs to be dropped off at the home on the way home.
She's like, why does he look like a grandpa and nobody else does? And I was like, dude,
he's probably the oldest drummer in the film.
Oh,
You think so?
Probably.
I said a lot of these guys are, in the same age range as one another.
The guy from Deep Purple?
Probably, right? At least right around the same age.
Yeah. And I was like, did he chooses to dress like that? I don't know, man.
I'll tell you what, though.
I don't know.
Between The Wall and The Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd have 2 of the top 5 largest selling records of all time. But no matter how much that accomplishment meant to him, I bet Nick Mason is just devastated to hear. Because he's going to hear about your thoughts on his fashion choices. And I bet he's going to be really, really, really upset.
I bet he calls in.
And I will say it is irritating when, like, you notice how they left a bunch of people out.
Yeah.
It's even more irritating when they mention people and then they're just nowhere to be found. Like Tommy Lee.
Maybe they didn't want to be in it.
She talks about how influential.
Tommy Lee will be in anything.
Yeah, she talks about how influential he is and like him spinning around on the drum kit and like all this shit. And there's just like, nope, here's 80s videos of him. That's it.
Yeah.
I think they didn't mention his name.
That's what I feel like.
She did.
No, they absolutely did. And then they showed footage of him.
Yeah.
And,
I remember the footage, but I remember being like, they didn't say who that was.
So we kind of labored this point a little bit longer than I meant to because it's a wonderful film overall. Like there's so much good here, but I do feel like it should have been at least like maybe like a 3-part, like 60 minutes each or something.
I'm not in for that.
No, I know this episode would not be happening if it was a miniseries. But so that's how I feel it could have been.
Maybe there should be a part 2 for you guys.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, count me in again.
Electric Boogaloo.
Count me in also.
I would like to be counted in, please. Thank you.
I as well would like to be counted in. So let's wrap it up this way. And we'll start with the harshest critic of all things film first.
Oh, boy.
Michelle, would you recommend this doc? You would.
I would. I enjoyed it. I felt like it kept my attention and I was learning and I really did enjoy it.
It caused you to Google something on your own, which is, to me, that's the equivalent of seeing someone get out of a wheelchair and walk.
Is it Nick Mason?
That's ice cold.
I feel like it kept her attention because she was constantly amazed by trying to figure out who these people were.
Right. Yeah. Well, when I got like a half or so hour of like texts that were like this fact or this fact, I was like, I literally was like, by God, she's paying attention.
Yeah.
To all the people who make documentaries in the entire world, listen to this. I appreciate it when every single time someone's on the screen, they tell me who it is because I have the memory of a goldfish, and so like if you could just remind me every time, it doesn't get old for me. It's fine if you put their name and who they are every single time. I appreciate that.
That's good that they did that for you. And again, so many people getting on notice here. Future documentary directors, you are on notice. A wag of the finger in your direction.
Yes.
From Michelle. Kyle, I assume so, but would you recommend that someone watch this?
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't even matter if you care about drumming or even listen to rock and roll or anything like that. Just you should watch it.
If you care about community and being moved by anything, this is a great film to watch.
If you ever wondered how someone from being a little tiny kid wanted to be something when they grew up, this is a great example of how that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is our collective thoughts on the Netflix documentary. I told everyone I know to watch it. I told several people the same thing I heard, which was stop what you're doing and watching it. I told you to watch it. I recommended we do an episode on this. So no, I would tell people go ahead and skip it.
Okay, I watched this for you. Now you have to watch This Is Pop.
Okay, but that's a whole series.
Okay.
All right, that's a whole thing we can talk about when we're not even recording for people.
We have been talking about it.
Speaking of recording for people, next week On the show, we are going to circle back to our album reviews, and we are at the top of the rotation, which I recently learned means Michelle's pick is next.
That's unfortunate.
I was going to try and skip her and go right to
Not
Kyle.
up in here.
And you do not have an album picked for us, correct? No. Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. I think she does.
So before she says that, I'm going to take us out of here. And we will, at some point, always on social media every week, I always put like the album cover or whatever and say, okay, here's what we're going to talk about next week. So unless I have a formal protest, I'll put up whatever album it is that Michelle has picked for us.
Is that a thing? Because I would like to formal protest against some of the things I had to listen to.
Like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.